It's kind of
I'll
like
try. I'll be nice.
yeah. Ow. Okay.
Oh, you don't have to be like really.
It's good to be back at the old station. I've really missed this place. Mytho! I'm back from taking my exams.
Hello?
Oh god, Mytho, what happened to you?
It's been so long since we've reviewed an animation. We've done nothing but listen to NPR for the last 6 months.
National Pony Radio. But Mytho, that stuff's boring as hell.
I did what I had to stay alive!
Mytho, you've gone insane. We've got to do a review to get you back to normal. But what could we possibly review? What could we both feel so strongly about that it could bring you back to reality? Wait. Double Rainboom.
What?
Mytho, you remember Double Rainboom, yes?
Yes, it's all coming back to me. The hype. The terrible voice acting. The wrinkled eye shinies.
And who? Who was responsible?
Rich.
Say his name.
Zachary Rich!
Then we know what we must do. Mytho, warm up the station for broadcasting. This is gonna be big. Hello and welcome to the animation station, and judging from the big flashy intro we just did, that we didn't see but you'll see it, you will know that we're reviewing Double Rainboom today, the legacy review that should have happened a year ago. Yes, Mytho is here with me, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Oblivion T. Fall, or Oblivion Fall as he is more commonly known.
What does the T stand for?
Tenacious.
Theodore.
Theodore Tenacious.
Oblivion
yeah.
Theodore Tenacious Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello, viewers or listeners of Animation Station. I don't know how many there are.
See, we got.
Are you popular?
Like 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, two people.
We'll probably get about
And-
2 viewers on this. Yeah.
Oh no,
And the
our
viewers
first,
are you and Mytho, yeah.
Yeah.
our first video's got about 20-something thousand views.
Yeah, but it's been up
that was
11
uploaded
months,
a year ago.
and it was very popular. Okay.
Yeah, it was Children of the Night. Anyway,
So, as you can see, we got our resident animation expert in because we need someone who is intelligent.
but Lightning, I'm always here.
Yes, Mytho. You can be intelligent too. Okay. So I think without further ado, this is going to be done in 2 parts actually. So I am going to postpone this introduction longer.
Well, now we have to do it in 2 parts, don't we?
Yeah. The first part is going to be us watching it and reviewing to it, and then we're going to have an analysis in the second bit. Okay? Because that means we can.
All this is when we do the long rambling intro.
Yeah.
Don't mind him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to yeah. So also we're doing it in 2 parts because that means we can stop for a day and all go to sleep and whatever. Okay, so I might cut that bit. I don't know. Right. Brilliant. Okay. So without further ado, we will get into this. I guess. Is everyone ready?
Roger.
Yes.
Got your videos up. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Goo.
Zachary Rich, Remember Rich 1998. No,
That flare.
did that say 1988 or 1998?
It's
Or 1989?
1986, I believe.
SR6 in there.
Was that when he was born or?
Yes. He's Flamingo 1986.
God.
Which I always get confused with the Toon Critic because he's Flame Amigo.
Oh yeah.
And I
So
think
here
there's
we
some
get the
others.
best part of the film, in my opinion, the intro.
No, I think the outro is the
No,
best part.
the credits are the best part. Actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. This could be the second best part of the film. Yeah, I did like the credits.
That-
That's
It sounds really negative. It's like, oh yeah, my favorite part was when it ended.
good. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it does
And I
sound
don't
bad.
mean it like that. The credits were actually really cool.
Yeah, they were very
Oh.
well animated. See, this is nice animation.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Them tweens though.
Yeah, it just appears to be
Tweens,
looping.
I tween like a mofo, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten down the fine art of using tweens in regular animation.
Tweens are the only thing I can use in After Effects, so it's kind of difficult.
Yeah, Lightning's the editing side of Animation Station. I'm the
Yeah, so if there's animation, I can't
animation
really talk
side.
about it. I only talk about the
You
editing.
can.
Okay,
You
yeah, I
just
can.
know more about After Effects stuff.
Yeah.
The brush, that brush smoothing on the wood,
tree.
the
yeah.
wood texture, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. One of the things when we watched this, like a week or two ago, just to refresh ourselves because we hadn't seen it in a while. And
Wait, watch where the hair on her neck connects to the ear, because it breaks in a few places.
oh yeah, it does.
Oh yeah.
So you were saying?
I noticed one thing right off the bat is that they automatically start jamming as much crap into the background as possible, which is really distracting.
Yeah.
Why are... Whoa, shit.
It's got octagonal eye shinies.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out. And then
What?
I forgot Rainbow Dash was gonna appear, I got startled.
What was it we call that again? It's something eye syndrome.
I don't remember.
Broken eye syndrome.
Octagon!
Wrinkly
Yeah.
eye syndrome, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was it.
We came up with a good name for it like a year ago.
And then we
just
forgot it.
Never wrote it down.
It's
Yeah.
not
The BFF ponies have the same problem on the eye shinies.
What error is that in Flash that causes that? Because like,
Basically, if you're
Silence, egghead,
drawing on a really
thinking.
small scale, you get little glitches when it renders.
yeah,
Yeah, that happens
Just
on
to
a
draw
lot.
What are
everything big.
you doing anyways?
Yeah.
super annoying.
I'm trying to add the final ingredient.
That
to
was a
the potion I've
wonky
been working
eye
on ever
line.
since I was in
That
magic
like
kindergarten.
eyebrow
Yeah.
line.
But some
Mm.
pony keeps ruining
You could say
my
it's lowbrow.
concentration.
You could say that.
Sorry.
Rainbow Dash, you need more concentration.
That's sitting.
floor
is
gradient.
pretty-
Oh yeah, that sitting was kind of
Now
one
Awkward.
frame she's standing, one frame she's sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part coming up where Rainbow Dash falls over, and it's literally they skew her body forward, and then next frame she's on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't taper any of the lines anywhere.
Mm.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And of course, here we come to one of the bigger
Yeah.
problems of the film, which is the continuous references to the internet and pop culture.
La meme.
Uh,
Lady.
It's a meme. Okay.
I love
May
memes.
sorry.
Maybe.
Skew!
Oh
Sorry,
my.
I spotted it was a skew tween.
Okay.
I will destroy all of humanity.
That was a
Wow.
liquid animation inside, that was quite good.
Unexpected.
Mm.
Like Rainbow Dash is slow moving.
Yeah, but
It's pretty funny.
the camera movement here is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Well,
Big,
good
oh
to
sorry,
know
it was
you're
Twilight who
not
fell
hurt.
over in a skew.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. That's
Well, you
one thing I
notice-
don't know a lot about is camera movement.
What's in this stuff?
Yeah, the way the camera zoomed in felt odd.
Careful. It
I've
might
just
be
started using
dangerous.
VCams and don't quite have the
Dangerous.
handle on them yet.
Will it turn you into a monster?
Yeah, if you look at Twilight's thigh, where it connects to her body, that taper,
Mm.
there needs to be a
Does it
taper
make
there.
you
And
invisible?
it's
Yeah.
not.
There needs to be a taper a lot of places.
Does
Yeah.
it transform you into
I don't
a
know why
zombie?
it's not there.
Technically, that's a
Yeah.
monster.
They've got some very weird camera angles in here.
That's like a Smile HD camera angle.
Love
Yeah.
potion. No, it's none of those things. Then why is it so dangerous?
Is it a butt?
Because
Oh. Hey, so
I don't really know
Because
what it
MacGuffin.
is.
Yeah.
But
You don't know what it is,
made
Twilight,
it.
then why were you...
What were you making then?
But if you
Here's
don't
the
know
scene that
what it
drags
is,
on for no reason.
then how
Yeah.
do you
Camera
know
going
if
back.
it's dangerous?
Adds nothing to the story.
But
I
you
don't know.
made it
I did make it.
egghead.
Something I notice about those Rainboom rigs is that the eyes always look unfocused. Not in this
Listen,
animation so
Rainbow
much, but when I
Dash,
see like
just
other
because I made it doesn't mean
people
I
in the
can
fandom
make
using
it
them, the
easier
eyes are like
to
never
use
focused on
great.
anything.
In
Hmm.
theory,
Yeah.
this potion is supposed to be a
Also, like-
talent
Hey, I just
enhancer.
noticed there's like a refraction in the glass, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Talent enhancer.
The thing in here, it's like the characters don't interact properly throughout this entire thing. It's like the timing is just off, generally.
There are a few like silent gaps
If I drank
occasionally.
it would make my
It's like
magic
the
extremely
entirety of this.
powerful.
like the dialogue is only like 30% of it, and the rest of it's just awkward pauses.
Although those like little mini pony
I love
puppets
those.
are good.
Those are really good, actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
You don't see
Again,
them
as I
very
said, the eye shinies are distorted.
well. Yeah. In fact, these are really bad. They've got like
Yeah.
weird pinched bits in either corner.
And you know, I would think like in post, you would go back. Well, not post, I guess you'd call it, but like after reviewing it and looking at it before releasing it, you would go back and fix that, and it wouldn't be too difficult to fix that. Because I would assume those are symbols that you can go
Yeah.
into and just
Yeah.
replace those things.
What you do is you go inside and scale it up really big, and then go outside and scale it small again. I think that would fix the problem. But
Oh, you're
Or
saying
I
like
might
the
be an
actual
idiot.
symbol is so small that it messes it up?
I
Like the
think the
actual inside of it?
yeah, the inside of it is shrunk down or something.
Hmm.
Look,
I-
references.
It's weird
So
because
many.
like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't catch all the references because I had no childhood.
Oh, well, there were Looney Tunes, Powerpuff Girls, Harry the
Like, I know
Platypus,
about-
Phineas and Ferb.
What about me? What would happen if I drank
I think the
it?
Powerpuff Girls one were kind of obvious. With the
Well,
30% of the film is Powerpuff Girls.
your
Yeah.
dexterity
Well, no, I meant right there. The whale is from Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, okay.
Oh. And so is this machine she's about to get strapped into after she drinks the potion.
Hmm. So many references. Too many.
Probably fly really fast, but don't drink my potion, okay? I'm just gonna walk over here for a second.
Twilight's face looks really weird on that angle.
Hmm.
Like the far eye looks squished.
Maybe you
Yeah.
can turn her into an even crazier pony? But how do you get crazier than Pinkie Pie?
Why am I angry sounding?
Why? Yeah. Why is she yelling?
Why am I ranting to myself?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a choppy bunch of frames.
Yeah, that was interesting looking.
Dragging
It
on.
burns.
Boosh.
It's a bit late to
I
do
didn't
that
know
now.
you could, I didn't know you could preserve momentum like that and then
I can't
teleport.
believe you just
Hmm.
drank all of it.
It's
What
the tele.
were you
Using the tele.
thinking?
Take a quick screenshot and take it out of
Should've
context.
known
Oh,
you
no.
would drink
Uh-huh.
it.
Bet hoof shake. Also, Twilight's hair looks retarded though.
Over again.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of overacting in this.
I just realized when she said I have to make it all over again, it kind of reminds me of Patrick from SpongeBob when he's like, "No, I'm gonna starve."
Now we get all of the little machines that someone spent hours vectoring only to appear in one scene.
That's a good point.
Not that I'm bitter or anything about having to vector stuff that only
Hey,
appears
one-
in one scene.
One really good thing about Double Rainboom is the backgrounds are quite nice.
They are quite nice,
Yeah.
even though they
There's
are
one thing
extremely
that-
cluttered.
I need to monitor
They're
every
cluttered,
stage of
but
the potion.
Just
There
one
could
thing
be
that got really
terrible side
good.
effects.
Yeah.
This is what you get for
I do
not
like some of the
drinking.
backgrounds.
Also,
But I got
later
enough
the
that
Ponyville
stuff
backgrounds are
actually
kind of sparse,
works.
though.
I need to
Yeah.
fly.
Oh, I can't wait until the double Rainboom bit. We've got some brilliant skewing or whatever.
I can't wait for the
Yeah.
Domo Moon.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
See, what is Twilight even doing?
I'm pretty impressed with like the paper
Yeah.
movement. Actually, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, but she does just appear to be randomly
mean,
hopping
the-
around.
The paper movement is a leap, I think.
It is, but it's still impressive to me. Oh look, Shadow.
Now can I fly?
It's when it,
Ugh, those eyes.
All of your readings are
yeah, I was gonna
good.
say, yeah, when they dilate the pupils
I
like that, it
suppose so.
kind of
Yeah.
creeps me out.
Get ready
Like,
for
this
the
the
butt
part
wiggle.
where, yeah, the part where Scootaloo is like admiring Rainbow Dash, it's kind of scary.
Butt wiggle
shit.
creeps me out.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
The,
didn't
mu-
like it.
the
And also,
music.
when she turned up her head, it looked like she was wearing like a Daring Goose hat.
Would it make sense if I said the music does fit and it doesn't? Oh,
Oh
I
my
didn't
god, it
see
is
that.
Companion Cube.
I didn't see that.
What? Everyone always points it out. I was actually kind of making fun of the people who pointed out.
Oh,
I've never seen it before,
I never-
actually. I just
Oh.
noticed it.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's
Alright,
No,
the
it's
music
fine.
does kind of pop in weird places.
yeah.
Yeah,
it,
it's like
it fits,
No,
but it also doesn't fit. It sounds like it goes with the scene, but it kind of doesn't.
oh look, they got the little thing on the eye. It must be a DHS puppet.
yeah.
Anyway,
Actually,
Talking over
the
the
sta-
video. Yeah. That's another.
You're
some people trying to watch.
Yeah. We get that
Actually,
stuff.
well, the stallion mouthpieces for this are actually, I'm pretty sure they're stolen from the DHX puppets, and I know because back when I used them for an animation over a year ago, back before I even knew there were leaked DHX puppets. So I don't know. I noticed striking similarities.
Was that sign animation back there, like the one where the sign rotated around? Was that in Flash, or do you think that was something else?
It could have been in Flash.
It's pretty impressive if it was in Flash.
Oh, this muffin.
It looked slightly awkward though. Like the way it rotated didn't feel quite right, so I don't think it was 3D. Like a 3D. But I'm just guessing though.
That muffin looks like a cardboard cutout of a muffin.
It's a sticker.
You know, I watched Dialeek's camera cord where he animated this whole thing, and something I noticed is that he didn't really go back to edit any of the movements he had done already. He just kind of like did the movement and then left it, which is fine, I guess. But
yeah. And then this weird, something looks weird about this, and I don't know what. Can you tell me? Like the way she was standing on the scooter looked very weird.
Jokes.
this whole thing
I
kind
don't
of
get it.
It's because she has no parents and she's a chicken.
Oh, there's the Fluttershy
look, 3
animation, which I
frames a
hate.
second.
I hate
Look at
that.
the something you'll notice throughout the whole thing is that everything kind of shifts between being really shaky and really smooth very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get like a smooth tween, and then next thing you know, everything's kind of awkwardly like wobbling around the place.
I think I
Oh.
remember saying
That walk cycle.
yeah.
Yeah, her head's kind of like jumping backwards and forwards weirdly.
Also, her feet
Yeah.
weren't connecting with the ground.
I think I remember
Yeah.
saying in the last, like when we recorded this like years ago, that you can almost see where one animator finished up for the day and another one came along, because you can see the discrepancies in animation a lot.
Domo Moon!
Why does it have a face? That is like not even necessary, man.
This is Domo.
Mm. Also, that continent's lifting off the Earth on the right-hand side. That continent
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, it's got a
pokes
weird
out
angle.
into space.
It's incontinent.
I could easily do a song
Wow.
Rainbow.
Rainbow Dash should be suffocating right now.
Double
Eh.
green.
Yeah,
It's not accurate.
going into
Call
Double
call the
Rainboom.
scientists. We need
Yeah.
a scientist.
yeah.
So Rainbow Dash just decided that a double Rainboom was a thing all of a sudden.
She's in the
Yeah.
Xenosphere. She
Was
can't
that an
go-
ad break? Was this supposed to be an ad break there?
Yeah, I don't know why they put that in.
Actually, I don't know.
It's like they made a mock ad break where there was no point in doing that. But,
It's kind of
Well,
funny.
that head turning movement was really awkward.
yeah. Nope, here we go. What did you? What
It's
is?
like
what is-
I just remembered something I was gonna say real quick, though,
Oh yeah, go on. Sorry.
which was it seems like throughout this entire thing they keep pausing to make the references. Like references
Mm.
are supposed to just be kind of in the background and there.
It interrupts
But they're
the
literally
flow
like,
of the narrative.
when the guy, when
fancy.
Snowflake came up and went like, yeah, he
Yeah.
like literally
Get those eyes
paused
away from
everything.
me! No,
Ah,
no, it's scary.
it's too big. She's possessed.
That's not cute. That's just freaky.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it interrupts like the flow of the story to
even
make
the music
a reference.
stops.
Yeah.
I'm noticing, like, on the puppets now, I'm starting to see the brushes moving pop up more and more.
Yeah. She's being consumed here by the rainbow.
Being consumed.
Oh, here's
Oh,
my
here's our favorite
here's my
scene.
favorite piece of voice acting.
Rainbow Dash! You have to slow down!
I'm not really shouting, and you're miles away, so you wouldn't hear this anyway.
Rainbow Dash!
You have to slow down.
We should've
Look
been
how
able
her
to
face
turn
just,
back.
like her face is dragged across her head really weird, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she turned her head to the left, you should have been able to see her neck, but you just saw the rest of her like cheek.
Mm.
Oh
or,
god,
like,
and that
jawline.
they clearly spending a lot of time on that mouth, that lip flopping animation, too.
Also, Dr. Hooves is not beveled at all.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We get the giant.
Here's
Quickly,
the storm of skewing.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
this is the skewing.
Yeah.
Skewing?
Such skew.
Yeah.
Oh, Zachary Rich in the bathtub. Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of something originally
Another
called
reference.
that.
Whoa. Okay. Got
Oh, he referenced himself. He's so clever.
the special
that
effects
reuse.
department must have had like a field day with that double rainbow.
It's the same fire effect, just tinted different colors.
Yeah.
In a circle.
Very pretty.
To be honest, the most impressive thing would have been the computers that actually managed to have all those symbols on screen at once without dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was talking to Mytho the other day about how much stuff you can have on screen at once in Flash compared to like the stuff that I use, like After Effects, and he said you can't have that much on screen at once. So
But the color of this dust feels really off. Like the whole is like it's too orange.
it looked like someone peed on the screen. Sorry.
Yeah,
Ooh, Ryan.
or really
Yeah.
like.
Rainbow.
I like the like all the stuff moving around though. That's pretty cool. But yeah, we were
Believe-
talking about like render times, and that cloud's upside down, by the way.
Yeah, I just noticed. It just that one cloud disappeared, but the other clouds didn't.
Yeah.
It just
Oh god,
actually
here comes the run
right.
cycle.
Oh,
Oh,
Here
yeah.
comes the horrible
Oh,
run cycle.
oh,
where is it?
second one.
Oh, there it is.
No.
It was a
Just
bad
stock.
taste in your mouth. Okay.
When she stops, like they just kind of skewed her body back and forward without actually,
Yeah.
stopping.
Back
Listen
to
for the Back to the Future music, real quick.
There it is.
Okay, I'm happy.
Okay.
Yes, that's a subtle reference. They actually do
Yeah.
those kinds of references in the show a lot.
Yeah.
William Anderson loves to reference old movies and shit.
And Lightning, didn't you want to say something about how they don't use actually any original concepts in this thing?
Oh
Like the
yeah,
fire-
I thought the fire was really clever and that they'd come up with that themselves, but it actually appears in the Find a Pet episode.
Yeah, it does.
And they just took the idea from that, which made me sad.
So it was referencing a pony episode referencing a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Also, was that the charged particle beam sound effect from Zoids?
I have no
I didn't
idea.
hear it.
I actually missed it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed actually with the these background, like the references.
Why
to
couldn't
Network
you
shows.
just make a Samurai Jack animation?
Mm.
I hear that
Oh.
that show never actually finished. It needs like its own fan animation
Where
to
am I?
finish the show.
Why did they have to make the outlines like just a really dark blue? By the way,
Yeah, they could have just made it black.
they're basically making it's like Powerpuff Girls in the style of MLP, and it doesn't look that great.
Oh, we're having a mock ending slate for some reason.
No, this is the beginning slate, I think.
Oh, that's the end slate, isn't it?
I think that's the beginning. I don't know.
We'll argue about this later. So this is happening.
I actually like this.
I'm able to talk? It's because I.
He's dead.
Hey, you!
Death is funny.
I think we need to teach you.
Hello, Ellie Monty. Oh wait, no, you're Bubbles. Never mind.
Mm.
There you are.
Bubbles.
So this whole... I'll save that for the analysis bit.
Then let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Bubbles' voice actor is probably the most accurate out of the three.
Ellie Monty's a pretty, like, really talented person.
I think she's only good at certain kinds of voices, and just my personal thing. I think that sometimes she gets casted when just because she's Monty. I don't know. I'm being mean. No.
You gotta know that happens a lot for some
Yeah,
people.
I
though.
know it happens.
And it's
a lot.
not necessarily their fault. Like,
I mean, Rena Chan was always cast as Twilight, despite the fact that Twilight
Yeah.
actually
I'm
isn't
less
her
than
best
enamored
voice.
with her Twilight,
Right
but
there.
you know.
She has better voices in her Twilight, but I mean that's what people wanted her for. So
Yeah.
I mean, if other people like it, it's fine.
I'm supposed to be criticizing the animation. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Oh no, here it comes again. Skew time.
Oh. But...
That was a decent camera pan.
I
that's
don't know.
smoke
I feel like there should have been more impact there.
I think
Mhm.
one of the smoke effects is really useful.
Kind of looked like the smoke effect was behind him.
Yeah.
You can talk?
That was an awkward stop.
And
Yeah.
up?
It was like
It was
she
really
ran
shitty.
into Jello.
Yeah.
Then
Oh god,
open
the hair bounce there when she crossed her arms was really sudden.
I'll never do it again.
That's better.
The animation is extremely bouncy.
No.
Remember when this was about a double rainboom?
Yeah.
Or about a lesson of some sort?
Remember when this story had a narrative that made sense? In fact,
No.
actually, I don't think it did.
This is overly violent.
Yeah.
Oh.
Death.
That wasn't in the show.
Aw, he
Now,
was such a nice guy.
I think the only part that I actually like comes up here in a second.
Oh, that was an awkward zoom.
Okay, not that bit. That's not the bit. That's a horrible bit of like parallax and perspective or whatever.
Warping.
Yeah.
It looks like
I just-
it looks like she has polygons that it's so messed up
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
polygons on her eye.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it
like
was
that
even on her
little bottom
mouth.
eyelid.
It was on her mouth too.
Notice in this animation, there's a mouth shape. That one that Rainbow Dash has right there. That is like abused throughout this whole animation.
I
you
love
see.
this thing actually right here.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
many
that mouth
gifs of
shape.
that on the internet when it came out. Rainbow Dash
You mean
having a wing leg.
Shifes?
Gifs, yeah. Oh,
Hey,
there's
look,
that
it's
little.
Pizza Planet.
Yeah, it's the Pizza Planet from Toy
Never
Story.
noticed that either.
Why is there so much smoke? And why is the smoke really choppy?
I don't know.
Like every like 5 frames it moves.
Let's give her
Hmm.
a head start.
Low frame rate.
Powerpuff Girls are so mean.
Hmm.
There it is again. You're right.
That was an awkward face.
Wasn't that the same one?
Think you're faster
Her hair looks very strange there. I can't tell what
I
it
don't
is
like
because
how
it's gone
It's
wrong.
greased.
Yeah.
I actually don't like how they use the bottom eyelid in this as well. Like, you know, if they get that little bottom eyelid thing that
Oh,
pops up
yeah.
a lot in a lot of places, it looks weird. It actually looked fine just there, but there's that mouth shape again.
Hmm. Another Toy
Real
Story
fun.
reference.
The Silver We Left Fine poster.
Yeah. So many references. Can't believe it.
I grew hands!
Yeah.
She just had two hands coming out of her back. I want to draw that now. Two hands just coming out of her back instead of wings.
Oh god, that was an awkward.
What if you're just like walking around with those fingers?
How many facial expressions did she cycle through just then?
I don't know, but that looked really awkward.
She's
Yeah.
feeling very conflicted.
She went through like 6 different
Oh
expressions.
look, her hair is rustled because it has two little things on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much rustling.
The potion. There could be terrible side effects. This is what you
Oh,
want
God.
when
Oh, fourth wall.
ahead.
She looks crazy because one of the eyes was squished.
It must
Yeah.
have worn off.
And here we get
See,
the
that,
Deus
that,
Ex
that, that
Machina.
was a good. That was a good movement. That was a good movement.
Yeah.
I like the shaking there actually. Okay, that's a bit enough.
Yeah,
that was a-
I guess.
It was an alright zoom.
Yeah, it
You
wasn't
ready
too
for the most horrifying voice ever?
It's ghostly.
If I heard that at night, I would just shit my pants.
bad. It's like someone made pony voices for the Amnesia game. Like they made voice samples for it. It sounded like that. So this is the kind of like Deus Ex Machina of the film, where it just kind of like out of nowhere saves the day.
That burger has a mustache.
Yes, it does.
Where were they flying?
Ice cream snuggles!
Where'd she go?
Oh, I want to snuggle with some ice cream.
Antoinette's gone.
I don't like it when characters cry.
Is that called Faust? That street in the back, Faust
Yeah.
McCracken.
Yeah, Faust.
Don't worry.
Reference to Craig Faust and Lauren McCracken.
Not one bit.
Isn't Faust German for fist? So it's Fist McCracken. Oh my god.
You're not Cody.
Oh my god!
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Because he's a dog.
You just turned a pretty subtle reference into something horrible.
Yeah.
Oh hey, it's Zoe Trent.
Yeah. That was really weird. I'm never gonna get over that piece of animation where Pinky bounces on top of Rainbow Dash.
She's made of taffy.
Yeah, it looks all fluidy. Like she has no
Well, I
solid
didn't even
form.
move in that shot.
Yeah. And now we have complete silence for like a minute and a half. Apart from laughing.
Learn to ease. Pinkie Pie's hooves were like just going back and forth with no easing.
Mm.
Easing is fun. I
Learn
like
to
it.
ease.
Also, that background is
Ease.
very like pixelated. You can see the edges on it. It's not a
Ugh.
straight line.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a vector.
What the hell?
No voice acting needed.
Yeah.
That face was kind of odd.
Yeah.
Hey Twilight, why did you shave your tree?
Short back and sides on the tree.
I think Derpy's neck broke for a split second.
Yeah.
Derpy?
Pushed out.
Oh.
And then we get this
You're dead.
face, which is just
Yeah, for no reason. It feels out of place actually.
Yeah,
It feels like, hey, we're trying to be funny because we gave her a crazy face.
yeah.
It's
I
like
think
the eyes are just too small in that face.
there
Like
are
they
a
always
lot
make
of
it the most crazy they can.
yeah. I find there
Oh
are
my
a lot of
God.
places in this film where that
Snowflake.
happens. Oh yeah,
My Crusaders.
Snowflake
Yeah.
just rammed that thing into place.
yeah.
Like it was
Wow.
pre-rendered action.
Mm.
Spike looks weird.
Okay, I don't need this lesson. I just want to get to the ending credits, please.
Yeah. Well, the lesson doesn't correspond to anything that happened in the episode. Well, the beginning bit, but the whole middle bit didn't need to be there.
I like that realization right there. She was just like, wait, what? Oh wait, my favorite.
She ate the glass vial as well, as you do.
I want to taste snozzberry.
Daddy puts glass in.
No, don't.
No.
Oh hey, the one
Yes.
funny joke, the one funny reference in the whole
I
thing.
laughed my ass off at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that whole speaking line for Pinky just now was really badly animated.
Mm.
No offense to the animators.
We don't mean offense to really anyone on this.
I don't mean
Yeah.
offense to anyone.
Yeah,
Well,
like
we'll
we don't
put out
want
a
to like
disclaimer.
offend anyone. They put out an animation that was fine. It was good, really.
Yeah.
Oh, except for that one movement. Oh god, that whole like shot was really shaky.
Yeah, it was fine. Oh, except for
On a
that.
whole,
Ew.
it was on a whole.
Yeah,
it
the
was
very
good.
last shot with Pinkie Pie
Yeah.
is so awkwardly.
Oh no,
animated.
here we have the best bit ever. And
Yeah.
the music
And
as
he's
well. It
holding that
complements
sword
it
upside down.
perfectly.
Oh, look
Okay.
how shiny it is. Look at that texture in the background.
So
Oh,
pretty.
So,
Mm.
so nice.
And I like the rough
Awesome.
sketches along with the.
Yeah, like to show the different voice actors.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure. I know Rob Bob. I think Rob Bob really wanted Amanda Kay for Twilight, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
Huh?
I don't.
Oh my gosh.
It's like this entire thing was. I mean, if it hadn't been so hyped up, really,
Mm.
and just everything about it,
Yeah.
been-
I think.
like just the expectations were risen so high, it was a decent thing. It was good,
The thing
really.
is,
The entire thing like sums up to be good.
yeah.
It's not great.
yeah.
It's not fantastic. It's good.
I
but
think,
Because the way it was presented to you, it makes it seem like it's not as good.
yeah.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
the main thing that bothered me about the hype was 100% show accurate animation, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, the puppets are weird, like the line thicknesses
Blue.
are inconsistent. There's no tapers, and the faces just kind of look off. But that aside, the movements, yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Who
some
made
shots
these?
have nice. Some shots had nicely animated movements, but a lot of them things were kind of really shaky and clunky, and they'd be really clunky, and then suddenly there would be this nice easing, and then it would degenerate into a skew fest,
Yeah.
and
This
then
is-
go back to being shaky again, and it's just
Mm.
weird.
I think.
Right? Oh, sorry.
I was saying. I think I think everyone's hit the nail on the head with the issue with it. Is that the animation is kind of solid, and I respect the amount of time they put into working with it. But for the, like, well, I say solid. It's not really that solid. But the issue.
Wait,
is
Grandpa
that-
Det worked on this?
Yeah. Apparently.
I didn't
So,
know that.
A
Yeah,
lot
it's
of people
awesome.
did.
and that little heart thing's quite nice.
Yeah, that looks good.
But yeah, I think the issue was that basically Zachary Rich promised us the world, but only delivered a medium-sized continent. Like the continent was good. I'm
It
not
was
sure where
not
this like
rich in
reference is going.
resources. Livable, but not rich in resources.
Yeah, that was the
Which
issue.
continent though?
I don't want to
Like,
offend any continents. Maybe like
the desert part of Australia.
I was gonna say Australia. I was gonna say please be Australia because I'm on that
Yeah.
continent.
Yeah.
New Zealand, yeah.
So that's the issue, is that like I think because the other thing was that the kind of damning thing out of all of that was that Snowflake or Snowdrop or Snowblind
Snowdrop.
or whatever her name is
What? No,
came
no
out.
lie.
Snow came out like
it was
the same week.
Snowdrop.
Yeah, it came out the same
Snowflake.
week, and everyone liked that because there was no hype, and it was solid enough animation, but it was just a
Actually,
nice little story.
The,
Yeah,
the
actually,
thing is, on average, the animation for Double Rainboom was a lot better than Snowdrop, but Snowdrop's animation was very consistent,
yeah,
and so certain things like there's a stallion in Snowdrop whose cloak is like flapping outside in the wind, and the flapping of the cloak is like it just looks really spastic, like it's just
yeah,
like each frame feels disconnected from the last one, and there are a lot of shaky moments, but it's kind of consistent throughout, so you get used to it. If I rewatch season 1 episodes sometimes, and I notice that like some of the movements are like really really shaky, but usually
Yeah.
the faces look they have good facial expressions, so you don't actually notice.
The thing
The
I've learned. Sorry.
Yeah, one thing about Double Rainboom that kind of throws me off in a lot of places is the facial expressions at certain points. I mean, it's not the expressions themselves, just I guess it's a problem with the puppets. Like the faces don't emote the same way. They don't emote as good, I guess. I don't know if it's the eye placement or something else.
Yeah.
Or if they dilate the pupils funny. I don't know.
One thing I've learned to respect, like out of overall in any animation, one thing I've learned that makes it just good generally is the consistency. Like it doesn't matter generally what quality animation you have, as long as there's one part of it that's good. It can be the story, it can be the music, it can be the animation. If one of those is good and then everything else is consistent throughout, you will get positive feelings on it.
Yeah.
And when you mess with that even a little bit, especially with animation, then it's just automatically gets thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like
think
if you have like a really good scene and then something that just doesn't look good at all.
Also, don't
And then-
overhype it.
Yeah. Well,
Or what you got here, where like in a single shot, one movement would look smooth, and then the next movement would be really clunky, and then the next one would be smooth, and the next one would be clunky. It just kind of throws you off like every other second. I don't want to like rail on it too much because I mean it's still very impressive, that we
Yeah.
managed to produce something this long that on average has a quality much higher than what you usually see from most productions, but.
Yeah.
The other questionable thing is like they had a lot. What was like something like 60 people or more working on
Oh,
this.
there were
I
50
have it.
animators, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like 50.
Oh yeah, he has the
animators.
spreadsheet.
I
Let
have
him
the
get out
spreadsheet. I have the spreadsheet.
Oh, you do. You have the knowledge.
40 animators and 10 people on
Okay.
special effects, 104 people in total.
So 40 animators in about a year. Now, obviously, a lot of them would have had real life. Some of them might have only animated like 1 or 2 shots. So
Yeah.
you don't want to. I don't want to be too harsh, and I know how long animation takes. So I mean, Epic Rage Time that I did about just over half the animation on that. I think it's no longer on YouTube for reasons.
Is it?
Um,
Oh,
now I won't go into that.
that's fine.
It's it's fine, but that took I did about half the animation on that, and that's only about a minute and a half worth of animation, and it took me 5 months in between, my college classes
You
and stuff like that. Also, the
to
animation,
be fair,
I,
you are above average for some animators
yeah,
at least.
yeah, I think the animation Epic Rage Time was, and I don't want to brag. I do think it was a step up from Double Rainboom, at least in terms of movement.
I'll brag
Um,
for you. It
yeah.
was better, but yeah, like I said, you
But
seem to have a lot more time
the
and
thing
like
is,
better at applying
it
yourself to
was
this kind
only
of thing.
better because I'm pedantic about making things look really good, and clunky, shaky. I can't stand that. I would go in there, and if I had to, I would edit every single individual frame to make sure that every single body part follows a nice, clean motion path, and that the spacing, basically, good animation, like basically in its most basic form, I see animation as change in shape, speed, and direction. So like obviously things are moving at different speeds, and it's moving one way and then it curves around to move another way, among other things. It's kind of basic like that. And those changes can be gradual or fast. You can have acceleration, deceleration, whatever. But they usually interact with each other. Like if a guy is moving his arm one way and then it kind of moves another way, the speed would change during that change in direction. The different elements kind of interact with each other, and uh, I'm trying to explain this.
Oh, it's fine. You don't have to
Yeah.
explain your entire like
I don't know. I do kind of get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. Point is, everything has to kind of, basically change needs to make sense
needs to be
and not just
consistently
happen randomly.
changed.
It needs to. You need to be able to apply physics to it. If that makes
Yes,
sense.
physics.
Mental
Physics is the thing.
physics.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
physics
Yeah.
or
And
simulation physics.
on
It,
like
it
honing
takes a while.
yourself in animation, like it's really good to have that level of dedication to making something look good, but perfectionism in animation can be a really dangerous thing if you're on a deadline for a
Yeah.
lot of people. And so that
The
could have come
animation-
into it as well, because Zachary
think it
Rich was
did.
running the entire project. So if he was on a deadline, like he said,
Yeah.
most definitely he was.
Yeah, they
Then
pushed it back though.
They probably put in as much time as they could, but
Yeah.
it's,
That's the thing, though. I mean, Epic Rage Time took 5 months, but I was also being ridiculously perfectionist, and
Yeah.
even then, it wasn't
DHX
perfect.
can't afford to be like they can't afford to have perfectionist animators on their team probably because it just
Yeah.
things never get done.
Yeah.
You
But,
need to be good at making it pretty good first run through, and then just
Yeah.
leave it at that.
leave it for someone else to clean up.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
It's what I've been trying to learn to do recently. Actually, is just pump out an animation in like a single week.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like that blooming intro that I made for this video, which we can't see, but the audience will have seen it. Is the first run through of that looked like it annoyed me so much because you can see the change in basically the logo comes in, you can see it jerk as the camera changes, and it took ages to fix because I didn't know what was wrong, and it took, because I was ray tracing it and it was all 3D, the first render took 21 hours because I forgot to render it on the GPU and rendered it on the processor instead. And so it took 21 hours. So that was fun. And then I had to re-render it again later because I realized I messed it up.
yeah, we made a joke about rendering where it's like Pixar takes like probably 6 weeks to actually make a movie and it takes 3 years to render.
Yeah. It doesn't actually take any time at all.
Ray tracing, like depends. Like, did you have like Final Gather on or something, or was it like simple?
Just simple. I think I had
Okay.
Actually, I'm trying to open the project now. I'll just leave it. I'm not going to open the project.
Maybe we can talk about this later.
I only
Yeah.
mentioned Final Gather because I want to sound smart.
Yeah, that's fine. I do that occasionally. I'll
done
just
some
throw in a
rendering.
word. Like,
I've done some.
Have you defragged the Haagen-Dazs?
yeah, the Haagen-Dazs. Yeah, I love ice
Hold
cream.
on, I just gotta configure my Large Agent Collider.
Yeah, that's the one. No,
Large Agent Collider button.
yeah, I don't know what the actual. I'm going to find out just quickly because I think it's got. Where is it? Ray tracing options. Yeah, you can turn it up to 64. I had my ray tracing quality set to 11, and it took 2 hours to render 42.3 seconds. So
Ooh.
that's fun. But you can set it up to 64, and then it'll take about 6 months, which is always nice. And it's
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's another insight. Everything always well, the actual making of it took about 5 minutes. The rendering is always the longest thing with editing. That and the perfectionism, making you have to re-render it like every time to fix stuff.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Well, we should probably start wrapping up.
Yeah, we should probably start
Yes.
wrapping up.
It's
Okay.
2 a.m. here. I should sleep soon.
Oh God, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
wrap this up as quickly as possible. So, thank you very much for joining us, Oblivion Fall, and thank you for joining us, Mytho. You're always here, though.
Well,
Join us.
I just kind of wandered in.
Yeah, join us again in about 5 seconds' time for you, but probably a couple of days for us, when we talk about the analysis of Double Rainboom and its history and other
We're
things.
gonna beat this thing into the ground.
Yeah,
See you
be
next.
prepared to watch us pound it like you've never seen it pounded before. Okay. Good night, everybody.
We're gonna bop it, twist it.
We're
Yell
gonna
it.
bop it, twist it. Okay, right. Hello and welcome back. It's been like 5 seconds for you, but it was a long time for us. So, welcome to the analysis part of the review. I've still got Mytho and Oblivion Fall with me.
It's been years.
Yes.
You remind me of my grandson.
You remind me of my...
I
You'll-
can't think of something.
You'll remind each other of your own grandsons. That's slightly strange. Okay. So, we're going to have a little bit of a background to the project first. We're going to talk about the project's aims and how it was conceived. Yeah, that is the right word. So, as you will probably all know, gentlemen, this is like a briefing before we go to war. The project was started by Zachary Rich, Flamingo Rich, 1986, for his not-so-final year project. I didn't actually need to read the bit in brackets, but I did anyway. So, He set the hype train to full steam ahead when production was announced with the double Rainboom animatic video, which was uploaded on the 30th of March 2012. You following me so far?
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
following you
Sensei.
so far.
Yes, Sensei. It took approximately a year to make, with the release date being pushed back, as ZR stated, quote,
The last thing we want to do is release an inferior product.
the aims of the project were, in Zachary Rich's words,
We'll have a full orchestral score, studio-quality sound effects, professional voice acting, and 100% show-accurate animation.
also he said it
Boy,
was,
What a success!
yeah. Also, yeah, he said it was his senior year film, but it wasn't. Okay.
Did he actually say it was his senior year film?
It is also serving as the first senior film I have to complete in order to graduate from the Savannah College of Art and Design.
Yeah, he said that it was his first senior year film, but it was actually it was only his second year film, because people wouldn't work on it, because he said it was his second year film, so he lied and made his senior year one. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, so people would work on it. Also, the team had 104, well, I said it had 104, but he said it had 105, so I'll take his word for it and say there are 105 people working on it.
Did you count him?
Yes, I counted him, Mytho.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you have to count him
Right.
twice.
Yeah.
Did you
It is
count
twice as-
yourself?
Yeah. Did you count yourself again? Because you're twice as important.
Oh,
Aww.
You're important to me. Okay,
You're as
so
important.
we're going to do problems, then positives, then final thoughts. We've just done a background to Zachary Rich, a look behind the man. Oh no, that's not quite right, is it? One of those
I
sayings.
don't want to be
So-
behind the man.
Okay, right. So, we're going to go through a list of pre-prepared sections that we broke the animation down into, and we're going to say whether it was done well or badly. So, to start off, animation. Problem or positive?
Mixed. I'm mixed on this. I think overall, like, as a whole, if you took, like, the average of the quality, it would be a lot better than most other fan animations you would have seen at the time, though that's only when you take the average. If you're just looking at it normally, I suck with words, it's kind of very inconsistent. I talked about it a bit last time, like in the earlier part, like 5 seconds ago, as you said, that like it'll be really smooth for a few seconds, and then it will be really clunky and jerky for the next 10 seconds, and it kind of, the quality fluctuates very rapidly, and this is probably the result of multiple animators working on it. I mean, I know they had a lot of people, and some of them might have only come in for a couple of random scenes here and there, but yeah, overall there were a lot of weirdness everywhere. I mean, obviously the puppets weren't perfect.
So the inconsistency, you'd say, was definitely a big factor.
Yeah, inconsistency was the main thing that killed the animation, because it was hyped up, 100% show quality animation.
100% show accurate.
And it wasn't 100%. I mean, the puppets on their own were enough to make it like
100%.
90. I mean, I'd say the puppets were about 90% accurate. They were in the uncanny valley area, as a number of people pointed out, though the actual movements themselves were, I don't know, kind of weird. I mean,
There were some awkward angles.
Yeah, and certain tools were abused, like the skew tool. And
Yeah.
the show is usually good at using the skew tool without it, like, sticking out like a sore thumb, but it did here a lot. Especially on certain movements. There's a part where Fluttershy twirls around and falls over, and her body just stretches up and down afterwards, and it looks really awkward.
Yeah. And I mean, need I mention the skewing that happens halfway through?
Oh, the skewing. Yeah, well, during this during the double rain, I almost said the double Rainboom part 2, what am I on about? Yeah, when Rainbow Dash actually does the thing, she does a thing and like the whole town is being destroyed, it's just like, oh, take the skew tool and like whack it back and forth, like, not
Whoa!
Whoa!
I'm pretty sure that's a weapon of mass destruction in Equestria, the skew bomb.
Yeah,
But
get the skew
Rainbow Dash
bomb.
Skew grenade out!
Yeah. I'm
I can
skewing
feel
and
my
stretching
bones
so much.
moving.
We're
God.
stretching.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
A lot of things. Another thing. One of the most distracting problems with the double Rainboom rigs that is present in the animation is the eyes. I noticed in a lot of fan animations where people use the rigs, the eyes, I think they use the default eye position, which kind of looks weird, like the eyes aren't really focused on anything. And in Double Rainboom, they actually do a good job of making the irises and pupils or whatever line up with what they're looking at. That's done pretty well. Though there are a couple of there are a lot of shots where I think the pupils are dilated really big, but the iris isn't that big, and then they do that, the bottom eyelid thing pops up a lot, and it looks weird, and I don't know, it's not necessarily that the facial expressions were badly animated, it's just that, they had bad ideas with some of the facial expressions. I don't know. I'm not a professional.
They didn't fit the scene, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Random, when she gets back and she looks out at the destruction she's caused, and she just turns around with that slightly weird face.
The Lesson Zero face, yeah. They're completely out of nowhere. You'd think Rainbow Dash would be kind of oh shit, I fucked up, but it's more of a, oh, okay.
I've been broken.
I'm crazy now. Whoa, look at how crazy she is. That means it's funny.
They used for the really mad or really freaked out face, they always use the really freaking crazy face.
Yeah.
Where they have one eye that's slightly bigger than the other and slightly disjointed and it's super small.
Yeah.
And it's that's not that face. That's just an insane face.
Yeah,
It's
that's
insane if you see your town destroyed, immediately at least. You're just kind of scared or embarrassed or probably something.
Well, considering
like that.
she
and then
did
Twilight
it,
was mad.
That's probably
she wasn't crazy.
Oh, Twilight didn't look mad. She just looked grumpy because she there were a couple of camera shots where Twilight didn't even move. It was like a static frame
It's
with that
obvious
grumpy
because the
face.
effects could have been disastrous.
Disastrous. No, we're not getting into the voice acting yet.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
But some good notes though. I loved how when there are a couple of shots in the beginning section where they hold up those scientific vials of glass or whatever, and you can actually see the refraction in the glass of the background behind it.
Yeah.
That was really subtle. I didn't even notice that until this time I watched it. So, but it's actually quite nice. So I did like that.
The moving pieces around the laboratory were quite nice.
I think that's a good thing though. In all of these sections, I'm going to mention the fact that if it's with the refracting in the glass, if you don't notice it, if it's not noticeable, that means it's blended in well, and that's good.
Yeah, what you don't want is for it to be oh, look at me, I did a refraction, look at how refracted it is, and shove it in your face. That's something you don't want to do. And a couple of aspects of the animation felt a little bit like that. I'm trying to think of something specific. There were a couple of points where it's oh, hey, look at this thing we did. Not the skew tool. I think that was just. That's just
I don't think they would want to show that off.
Yeah, that's just a general problem. But I was gonna say something. It was. Oh yeah, I really liked another thing. It's also with the glass vials. Is the liquid animation inside, the way the liquid sloshes around and the bubbles and everything. That was really nicely done. Needless to say, the backgrounds throughout the entire thing looked really nice, really professional. Though, as you said when we watched it, it is kind of cluttered at points, especially in the beginning section.
Yeah, I guess it makes a little sense since it's Twilight. No, it doesn't, because Twilight's really organized.
Yeah, Twilight is organized.
I don't know. They were nice to look at, though.
Yeah, I think you made a good point with them when you said that it kind of messes with the composition a bit, because you've got 101 things in the background, and
you're playing
all over the place.
You're playing an I Spy in the background while you should be focusing on the story.
Yeah.
And the animation characters.
Well, you see, you should be focusing on the story, but maybe the story's not that good at holding your attention.
Maybe the story's not focused.
I'm being mean.
Hey?
It's funny you should segue that, because the next section is voice acting, but we'll move on to storyline anyway, so that it segues better. Okay.
The segue. Oh, should we tell? We're gonna be Zachary Rich.
John.
Let's
I
not
think
tell
I've
them.
got that bit on
Let them wonder
recording.
what that is. Let them wonder what we're referencing.
Mm. Right, so
Squirm.
they will never know. Okay, so storyline. Now, oh wait, no, Mytho, did you have any thoughts on the animation, or have we kind of amalgamated it into one?
I liked his.
Oh,
Okay,
did,
right.
did I
Yeah,
dominate?
basically, yeah, it was kind of inconsistent and not fun to look at.
Yeah, okay, so we'll go around each other and, like, get an opinion off each. So, who wants to go first on storyline?
I'm not the story
I can go
expert.
first on storyline?
Attack the beast.
I actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, right, so storyline. This is an interesting one, because this is one of the things that I believe Zachary Rich said that he didn't do very well. And I am inclined to agree that he didn't do it very well. Because it was not very good, basically. I
Tell
think
us
that...
why.
Well, where do I start? The story, the beginning and the end would have made sense together, and that could have been quite a nice little mini episode thing where she learns not to do dangerous things, I guess, or whatever the lesson was. But the
I wonder
fact
if
that
the
they
Powerpuff Girls scene was the reason it went over time.
Yeah.
Well, probably, yeah.
Would it have been show length if they taken that out?
Might have
No,
been.
Well, we can find out. I'll edit it later and put a little thing up on the screen flashing saying how long it would have been without the Powerpuff Girls scene. But
Make more work for yourself.
yeah, I know. So that'll be fun. But I think the issue was that the Powerpuff Girls scene didn't really add anything to the story. It was just kind of there. It was like one giant reference that put the whole story on hold. Does that make sense? Like, you know,
Yeah.
the original narrative would have just been she drinks the vial, she causes a mess, she learns not to do that again. But then they just kind of interrupt the whole flow of everything to put the Powerpuff Girls scene in for no real reason.
What if she realized her mistake and then realized what she'd done and then she ran away instead of going to Powerpuff Girls Land and it was a shame, but then she learned to come back and accept her shame, accept her problems, and help
Accept her
fix
shame.
them. Not put up the shame curtains, but
Yeah.
come back and accepted that she caused a problem and she's gonna help fix it. That would have been a good lesson.
Yeah. It's just the lesson didn't correspond to what we actually saw in the episode.
The
if that
lesson
makes
was
sense.
not to take things.
Yeah, there was no,
Lesson
think-
was don't drink weird potions that you have that are obviously dangerous.
Don't steal from Grandma's liquor cabinet.
It was
You know
basically-
the one.
It was it was almost like the lesson was crowbarred in at the end because, you know, it's an MLP mock episode, so we have to
Crowbarred?
have
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Okay. Yeah. It's almost like they crowbarred it in because, the whole, you know, it was almost like they thought, oh, we have to have a lesson, we'll put that in, because the lesson didn't really, it was a bit of a rubbish lesson. It was don't drink things that you shouldn't do, which is kind of, that's not really a very deep
No,
lesson.
that might be. I think our current generation could learn something from that.
No, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't drink a lot.
Stop drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
Drink.
Maybe that's
It,
the lesson they do.
it won't give you superpowers, and if it does,
Yeah.
you'll destroy your town.
It just makes you think you've got superpowers, so you do something stupid and hurt yourself.
And then you hallucinate that you're in the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Maybe she just drank, something like Russian standard, 90% vodka, alcohol content. 90% alcohol content, that's the one I meant. She just hallucinated for a couple of minutes.
Passed out, and while she was passed out, she destroyed the town. Yeah.
Yeah, she went on a rampage and just blew the town up. So yeah, any thoughts on the story, aside from, anyone got any other ideas about the story, aside from me?
Didn't he write it and then go around SCAD just asking people to proofread it?
Oh yeah, in fact
And
that was
didn't
another
take
thing.
anyone's advice on actual story content?
Yeah. Well, in fact, I have a breakdown of the staff list here, which I made from the website. You got 10 people in voice acting, sound design 4 people, puppets 5, special effects 10, backgrounds 27, animators 40, storyboarding 7, assistant director 1, director 1. Now, he has no one helping him write. He only has one assistant director
I think it's him.
and no producer or anything. So, I think that was the issue, was that he, obviously in each of those different categories, like voice acting, special effects, etc., he did have, team leaders, but he didn't have anyone helping him at the top of all the production. You know, like he only had one assistant director. He needed more people helping him with the overall stuff.
But
I
who
think.
will watch the Watchers? Yeah.
Who will watch the Watchers?
Yeah, but my initial thoughts when I watched it was kind of, I actually didn't have any major problems with the story overall when I first started. Well, sorry, when I first saw it, it was on my sister's iPod, and I just remember thinking, this is kind of what I expected it to be. Obviously, without the Powerpuff Girls, I didn't expect that. But in terms of, like, overall storyness, like the kind of feel that you get from it, it was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of how I thought it would feel. I mean, like, I can see all the problems of the story, obviously. There's no real depth to it or anything. It's just like, hey, let's have a random event that can be used to shoehorn in a giant reference.
It's like, hey kids,
Yeah.
today we're gonna play pretend with Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, and let's try and make it fun along the way. And I guess it was kind of fun the first time. I didn't actually.
Oh yeah, I was enjoying it the first
Yeah.
time.
I didn't
Like,
actually.
watched the live stream premiere.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice any flaws with the animation because it was on like a tiny little screen. So the first time I watched it, I remember thinking, that was alright. And then the credits started up, and after the credits finished, I felt, wow, the credits were actually more entertaining than the whole of the rest of it. And I didn't realize that
Yeah.
until after it finished. And then I started to have my doubts. I was like, oh, why were the credits so good? You know.
Was it by comparison?
I mean, obviously by comparison. The credits were actually really entertaining, though.
Yeah,
Probably
I love him.
the best credit sequence I think I've seen in any fan project from this community so far. So,
I don't know, I just drew a lot of parallels, which was really cool.
Yeah.
To the next.
It's just we'll move on to the next one. In fact, I know I made a structure, but structures are there to be changed by me. So I'm going to
Don't
put.
become a builder.
Oh yeah, I'm going to put references next to storyline, and the reason for that is because we talked about the fact that it kind of felt like it was just one big reference shoehorned in the Powerpuff Girls thing and like the Flash universe. So one of the things that I think was, because the storyline was a little bit kind of superficial, and I didn't really feel it really did much, but it was all right. And I think one of the biggest problems was the number of references
yeah.
that were made.
It was
Yeah.
definitely distracting.
Some of them were quite subtle, you know, like in the background of the Powerpuff Girls universe, you get like maybe that little the Pizza Express. What was the name of the little
Pizza
car
Planet?
thing? Pizza Planet. That's the one.
It is
It's made into a building,
Optimus Prime was in there too. There's a truck with a, or no, it might have been a Decepticon logo. I don't remember. There's a giant
There was-
Transformers reference.
There was
Yeah.
a lay silent memer as the troll face came out of the smoke. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
didn't
one,
see one.
that reference was real. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember a troll face in
Yeah.
the smoke. No,
I don't remember
Oh,
seeing that
okay,
one,
good
Mytho. It's
point.
not like it was in my face.
I don't.
That scene.
I don't
No,
remember
never
seeing
did.
it in the trailer or anything.
I don't remember like seeing it in the trailer and then him saying, "Don't worry, guys, it's just a joke. It's not actually going to be in there."
I thought. Wait, it was in the trailer, or it wasn't in the trailer?
It was.
It was in the concept trailer, and he said it's just a joke, a placeholder for something else.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't a
It's not going
placeholder.
to be in the actual final film, and
Yeah.
it was.
That's what I remember him saying. I think, yeah. But I think the issue is that some of the references, like the one we were just saying that were in the background, were quite good, like the Faust McCracken thing, which I.
But
managed to
the
turn something
moon
different.
with the
God,
face on
like-
it, the moon with the face on it was kind of a blaring reference.
Domo.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't-
Domo's.
yeah.
I love Domo, but like it's too obvious, that one.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is the kind of references rely on subtlety, and there's nothing subtle about the moon being Domo and the smoke being a troll face. You know,
It's
and
like that's not
there
even
were many
references to the
others.
fandom. No, the fandom doesn't even care about Domo.
yeah, it's just literally random pop culture references.
The kids, it's what they want. It's what the kids want, man. You gotta appeal to the kids. You gotta appeal to demographic. You gotta go, yeah, the kids, the Pokemon cards and the pudding pops. You gotta get those. The demographic. Kids.
Pokemon. Okay, yeah. So I think that less references would definitely have benefit this thing.
Or at least more subtlety.
Yeah, or at least subtlety.
Subtlety in general was something that this story and stuff kind of missed.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any subtlety to the characterization, or just in general there wasn't much subtlety. But at the same time, despite the fact that it wasn't subtle, they managed to keep it from being obnoxious. So
Yeah.
I never felt like they were being shoved in my face. I mean, the
That's
moon
so good.
domo on the moon was obvious, but it wasn't like pushed in my face like the troll face was.
Normal.
Yeah. Luckily they weren't all like that. It wasn't like, Pizza Planet shoves the car in your face. That would be annoying.
Pizza Planet
Oh,
car
shit.
runs into the screen. Oh, Woody and Buzz get out.
Break the fourth
And then we
wall.
go on another story arc about Woody and Buzz trying to save the universe. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to group these two together to an extent, but sound effects and music, what did you guys think of that?
I thought overall it was good.
Kind of goofy, but
Only-
you know, it was fine.
It did its job of not distracting from the story. Like, I mean, I felt it did its job in the sense that I know something William Anderson said in an interview once was that the background music's job is there to like support the story and stuff, but it's not there. It's never there to like take the focus or anything.
Mm.
For the most part, it did its job. The only problem is that the actual mood of the music didn't always match up with what I was seeing.
I guess I could say the best word for it would be kind of corny.
Yeah.
I think the thing was that the music, courtesy of Mando Pony, David Larson, and one other person who you know his name, but I can't remember it.
Rich?
No, it wasn't Rich.
Oh.
I think that there might have been. I'm guessing Rob Bob because I know he does a lot of stuff with sound effects, and I assumed that I know he was credited in the credits, and I'm assuming that he was involved in the sound effects because I know he loves doing that
I
stuff
mean, in
as well
fact,
as
I
voice
could
directing.
check it.
They could have had, like, you know, Friendship is Witchcraft level music. That would have been really cool. That
Here we go.
music is amazing.
Their music is amazing.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Okay. We have.
Problem is that does actually distract.
So yeah, it does. Yeah. David Larson, Robert Knorr,
That's
David
him.
No.
David Andrew Stein,
Knorr.
and Lena Eldridge. So those were
I
the
don't
four
know
people
Lena.
who did sound design.
Yeah, I know Robert Knorr is Rob Bob. He's a good guy.
I liked the music that was in there, but I liked some of the music that was in there. The sound effects and the music while the story was going sometimes felt out of place. For instance, you know, like the best kind of, again, sound effects and stuff like that, the best kind are the ones where they're subtle and blend in and you don't notice them. But for instance, when Rainbow Dash goes flying through the roof for the first time, she like there's this weird little trumpet fanfare thing, and it just kind of sounds very cheesy and, like you were saying, Looney Tunesy kind of style of. It kind of was a bit jarring to me, and maybe it wasn't for other people, but
Traumatizing.
traumatizing. Yeah. So there's
That
that.
might be. One thing I know is that none of the sound effects I can really remember, apart from like the actual dumb rainbow itself, is that sparkly kind of shimmery sound at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's the only sound effect I actually remember.
Mm.
I mean, I could try. I mean, it'd be unfair to compare it to the sounds in the show because I mean, if you've seen the laser battle with Kirik
Mm.
in the season finale, spoilers, those sound effects for the beams are
Hot
fucking
damn.
gorgeous sound effects. And obviously, you're not going to get anything like that in a fan animation.
Can't
Yeah.
get that by
But
rubbing a water balloon.
Yeah. I mean, while the sound for the double rainbow was memorable, it wasn't like anything like, oh man, you know that you know.
It wasn't
Yeah.
any squee.
It wasn't
Yeah.
piss your pants awesome.
It was just a kind of typical sound effect,
I
really.
pissed my
It
pants.
was just
anyway,
oh, I get it. It's
Yeah,
shiny.
It was pretty cool, I
Yay.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if that's all said and done, we will move on to, well, we've kind of done special effects. That counts as animation. I didn't really notice what was, well, in fact, in that case, it might have been done quite well, because I didn't actually notice any special effects.
I don't
in
know
this.
if there were any.
We actually mentioned a few. I think the refraction in the glass and the water animation, smoke. Remember, there's those little smoke explosion things in the Powerpuff Girls. They were reused. Also, that smoke could have used a bit of smoothing because there was a lot of jaggedness around the lines that looked really messy. Like they drew it in Flash and didn't bother to clean it up. But you know, the movement of the smoke was good for the most part.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I could say it's better than what I could do, but that doesn't exactly. That's not exactly a compliment because I kind of suck at smoke effects.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we've done music, special effects. Okay. Editing.
It doesn't exist.
Now, yeah. We actually, last night while I was playing this, because, you know, we're so organised, we do it the night before, looked through Zachary Rich's DeviantArt page where he talks about the things he did right and wrong. And one of the things he mentions is that he's learned how important editing is, and he pretty much skipped it in Double Rainboom. And so I watched it back, and I did become acutely aware of the fact that there is no editing, and that comes in with timing and pacing, which are also on your lists. So editing, timing, and pacing. What did you guys think of that?
Why don't we simulate it here? Lightning, how was your day?
Powerpuff Girls. What? I didn't know what you were going with there, so I just kind of went with what happened in the show.
That's like what it was.
I'm feeling
Awkward
fat
pauses.
and sassy.
Oh, okay. So we're going. Okay, so shall we try that simulation again?
No, it's fine. That we got across what we want.
I'm pretty sure we got it. Yeah.
What was the fat and sassy thing from? I can't remember.
It's from you remember Rejected? My spoon is too big.
Yes.
Yeah, it's from that.
I'm feeling fat and sassy.
Sassy.
Oh yeah! Let's not get distracted. I don't want this to be it. Let's not cause this awesomeness to be edited out. So let's move on.
Fine.
Yeah. The longer it goes, the more chance it has of being
Basically,
edited
I was
out.
trying to make the point of my experiment was I was trying to make a point where it would be like, Lightning, how was your day? Good.
Good.
Powerpuff Girls.
Da 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 da, and loads of like weird sound effects coming. Yeah. So I think editing, yes, I became acutely aware of after watching it back that there was none, and I think that is most evident in the scenes where, and I can't remember, we watched something else recently. My Little Portal, was it, where they would? It's almost like they would render out a complete like scene, and then they wouldn't clip it at the end. They would just like leave it running for a couple of seconds and leave a pause there. And Rainboom wasn't quite as bad as My Little Portal was in that respect. You know, the pauses weren't very long, but they were very numerous.
Portal, they were very long.
Yeah, you'd get
it was like dialogue. Next scene.
Well, it was like, for instance, a prime example of that. I keep saying prime example. Prime example of that is when I can't remember who it is, but someone says, "I'll get her to like the hospital as fast as I can," and then there's like a 2-second pause and nothing happens. It's but yeah, Double Rainboom's not quite as bad as that, but it still wasn't great with the timing, and the pacing I guess was all right, but nothing. Well, I don't know. The pacing kind of got interrupted in the middle by the whole Powerpuff Girls thing, but I guess it was fairly steady still. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
fast.
actually, I didn't notice as many awkward pauses during the Powerpuff Girls thing.
Yeah, that felt a lot more.
Oh yeah, you're
complete.
right. Well, it's because it was really speedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did a better job on that, but then
Speedy was probably good.
I guess the pacing was relatively consistent. It was slow at the beginning and the end, and got faster in the middle. But it did feel a bit interrupted because of the fact that you had the bit in the middle that didn't really make any sense. So, but there's not really much to say for pacing. I don't think timing again is something, and editing, and that didn't really happen. Okay, we're stuck on voice acting now. You can all make jokes.
I was gonna say if we've all done voicing our opinions on the editing.
No, voicing. Oh.
I think we all know what's on our minds with voice acting, though.
Disastrous.
Rainbow
Dash.
Slow
I don't want
down.
I don't want to insult voice actors at all.
I don't want to
but-
insult. I don't want to insult. Rina-chan.
Rina Chen. I don't. I'm sure she's
Yeah.
very good, but this particular performance was not very good at all.
Mm.
It made
Yeah.
no sense. in the
Yeah.
least.
She did pretty good for some parts of it though.
Yeah, it was like not
Something I
bad
noticed is
throughout.
that-
It just had some
Yeah.
parts where it was just like, oh dear God, let it end.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that Rina-chan would get cast as Twilight in a lot of things, and when Twilight isn't necessarily her best voice, and it kind of shows in some of the fan animations she's done. And here, like, there are some moments where her Twilight was a lot better than it usually is, but as you said, you know, in other places it was disastrous.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that.
but
Yeah. Sorry, you go ahead.
yeah, and then as for like other characters, unless you want to say more about Twilight.
I don't know.
Mm.
I thought the other
Doubles.
characters were pretty fine. Pinkie Pie was a little shrill, but that's a hard voice to do. Scootaloo was fine, I guess. She only had one line, but
Yeah.
some people like really liked that one line, thought it was really good. I didn't think so, but
Oh.
it wasn't bad. It just didn't sound like Scootaloo, which is perfectly fine. But I heard someone say it sounded exactly like Scootaloo.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't to me.
It was alright. It was a decent
Who
Scootaloo.
else talked? Oh, the Powerpuff
The
Girls.
Powerpuff Girls didn't they?
Yeah.
They were all right.
Yeah.
Bubbles, I think. Ali Monty did Bubbles, I think.
Yeah.
They
I
were
think
all
Ali
pretty well
Monty's.
done.
I think Ali Monty's strength is voices like Bubbles.
Yeah. That was very good.
Some of yeah.
rendition.
Some of the voices she does, I think, aren't as
Oh, we're just
like,
talking about Double
commonly-
Rainboom right now.
kind of weird. Oh yeah, sorry, I won't give her. But point is, I think she did really well on Bubbles.
Yeah, I think she did well in this one.
Also, because I'm not good with her names. The emo one, the green emo
Buttercup.
one. Yeah. I think some people complained that her voice was like the wrong voice, but I actually spoke to the voice actor for that character in Double Rainboom, and I won't reveal who she is because of reasons. But apparently when she picked the voice, apparently Buttercup's voice actually changes throughout the series from beginning to end, and she went for a voice closer to the end just as a demo, and apparently the director was like, yep, that's perfect. And she was like, oh, but I think the voice might be better if I like did how it sounded earlier in the show, and they were like, nope, just do that or something.
Mm.
I don't remember. I'd have to pull up the email, so
Isn't
don't
she
quote
in
me
the
on that.
credits?
Mm.
Oh yeah, she's in the credits, I
gonna say,
guess.
like, It's like, I'm gonna...
I mean,
the
protecting
person who
someone who's-
voiced this
like-
person, I'm not gonna tell you
Yeah.
who they were.
well, okay, well, like, I'm not going to tell you the name they're going by currently.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's fair enough.
They got some flack for being involved in Double Rainboom, and so they kind of went a bit
That's a
undercover
shame.
for a while. Yeah.
People
There's also
should
another
never be
animation
like,
they were
people should never
into.
be like, I don't want to. I don't know the right word for it, but I suppose persecuted is a very harsh word.
Yeah.
But it's the only one I can think of at
They
the
shouldn't
moment.
be
for
like-
being part of something like this.
Yeah.
They should just, it's either good or bad, but it wasn't really their
I think-
fault.
That's something we should
Yeah.
clear up now, actually, is the fact that we're talking about the strengths and weaknesses of Double Rainbow, but I don't think, because it seems to happen more often than I realise, but I don't think people should personally attack anyone on any team for anything they do. Because
I mean,
they
even
still
Zachary
put work
Rich-
into it.
He's not a bad guy. He had
Yeah.
the best intentions doing this, and it wasn't
Yeah.
horrible. Didn't ruin anything. It
Mm.
just wasn't that great. It turned
Yeah.
out, and so no one needs to be like mocked or given flack for this stuff. It's just a learning experience, really.
They all did a good enough job. I was just going to say, my thing I was going to say a little while ago on the Twilight thing is that I think that, yeah, it was a little bit, I don't know whether that was direction from Zachary Rich or what that was, but it just, that particular scene where she was shouting to Rainbow Dash was definitely the worst. I think she wasn't so bad in the rest of it, but definitely, well, I don't really remember, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that scene was, maybe it was just a one-off particularly bad scene, but so we've done voice acting, pretty good apart from a few lines. So the thing about this is that it didn't meet the aims of its project. And that's not to say that's a bad thing, because just because it wasn't professional voice acting doesn't mean the voice acting was absolutely atrocious, even, well, the thing is that 100% show accurate animation, it was nowhere near 100% show accurate. That doesn't mean it was bad, but then that comes back to the main crux of the issue, which is it was overhyped. Yeah, if he hadn't overhyped it, it would have been fine, but all of these things that he promised, he couldn't have delivered on ever. Not at the level he was at.
Now we gotta play them all, so all aboard the hype train.
There we go. Another Game Grumps reference. Okay. Basically, I think that if I was going to put one thing on Double Rainbow that killed it, it would be the hype. Because the stuff that was in Double Rainbow wasn't bad, like absolutely atrocious by any stretch of the imagination. It was just the fact that what was promised was so much more than that. And with True Tale, they're not hyping it at all, so hopefully it'll be better as a result. I think.
Skynamic Studios will rise again.
Yeah. Sky, rise.
Zachary Rich.
I've learned that I'm not the greatest writer, yes, but I'm really good at coming up with cool ideas. As a result, I've taken several steps back from engaging in any form of writing and hired a team of writers to take care of creating screenplays, handling dialogue, and writing announcements and other promotional material for me. Thoughts?
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea, personally.
Yeah.
So I think everyone thinks they're good at coming up with cool ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a subjective statement.
Yeah, I think that it's a good idea, because I think that he does have some alright ideas, and he's not a great writer, so I think that if he comes up with some ideas and just does the directing, if he's any good at that, and lets everyone else write it, then maybe that'll be better for it. Okay, this is my favourite one, because it's the thing that I do. I've learned how important editing is to the process of creating a film, and how I pretty much skipped that part of Double Rainbow. The pacing could have been improved tremendously, and a good 8 to 10 minutes should have been trimmed off to improve the experience. I've since hired a few people to help with editing when the time comes for True Tale. Yes.
He learned something.
Yeah. I think the thing is that hopefully when True Tale comes out, we'll be able to see how he's learned from this experience.
Yeah. I'm hoping there'll be a progression. I think there will be.
Yeah.
And then we can be happy.
Yeah, then we can all rest easy, knowing that we did absolutely nothing to influence it.
And when it comes out, the animation station will be on the case.
Yeah, when it comes out, we'll be there.
We'll be ready.
Yeah. I've already got a file for True Tale. No, I don't have a file for True Tale.
Did somebody say
you
rich?
I've got a little dossier on my desk full of all the different animations, and True Tale is on the top with top secret
Got it.
across it.
It's just full of pictures of Zachary Rich.
Yeah.
You know why Double Rainboom didn't have monetization?
Why?
He was already rich.
Oh! How many jokes can we make about that? We'll find out.
We're the worst people ever.
I've learned that I'm decent with voice direction, but not the best. As a result, I'd say to handle recording dialogue and hiring voice actors.
I think that is actually Rob Bob, because I've spoken to Rob Bob and he's mentioned that he's been doing casting and stuff for True Tale. That was also a while ago, so maybe I got it mixed up.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I think
that's cool.
I think that I don't know what he was like with voice direction. Again, this would be one of those things where you need to be in the project to know, but if that one Twilight line is anything, or those few Twilight lines is anything to go by, voice direction was lacking a little bit.
That was a really low bit to be sure.
Yeah,
The rest of it was fine.
Yeah, it was alright. I think he's definitely justified in saying he's alright, but not the best, because that was a particularly bad one. I think the rest of it was alright.
There was definitely a disconnect between the animators and the voice acting.
Yeah. So what did he do right? Or what did he think he did right? On a positive note, I've learned that I'm very good at art direction. Despite its flaws, Double Rainbow looks good. It's very well animated and has highly engaging and detailed worlds that feel like one solid place, which is an important result seeing as how dozens and dozens of different artists all worked on it.
I didn't feel engaged.
I didn't feel very engaged. I felt like I was watching...
Felt like I got a divorce afterwards.
Great.
Jeez. I felt like I was kind of watching somebody else watch something.
Oh.
You know, I didn't feel, in the sense that I didn't feel like I was involved. I felt like there was some distance between me and what I was watching.
Oh,
Like,
I might get what you're saying.
I didn't connect to it the way you
I
can
wasn't.
instantly
You weren't
connect to
seeing it
Bonnie.
through the eyes of who was supposed to be the main character, which is Rainbow Dash.
Mm,
You were just
No,
kind of
yeah.
being third person viewing
Yeah.
of that.
Also,
I didn't have no rainbow hair on the
Yeah.
sides of my vision.
Yeah. Is
Uh,
I was going to say, is it possible? I'm going to throw this out here. Is it possible that what happened was Zachary Rich created his own like vision without putting much thought into the fact that other people would be watching it, and so it needs to be a format that everyone can understand, if that makes sense. You know, like one of the biggest things I've found is that when you make something, it looks good in your mind because you understand it, but then if you show it to other people, they're like, this doesn't make much sense. You know, you need to make
Of course
sure
it
that
makes
stuff in your
sense. Have you considered the blah 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 whatever it is?
I
Yeah,
liked your argument. It had some good points.
yeah. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
while in my mind I might make something, it's like, hey guys, this is brilliant, and then they watch it, and it's like, it doesn't make sense to them because it wasn't in their mind, it was in mine. You need to make sure it translates nicely. Okay. I think that's all we've got to say on that, isn't it?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay. I've also learned that I'm very good at crew management, keeping people motivated. With 105 people working on Double Rainboom throughout the year, it took me... throughout the year it took to make it, I had to be extremely charismatic and highly organised in order to keep everything together and production flowing. I think I can probably agree with that. I don't really know
I'd
him
say yeah.
personally, but yeah.
I think he was really good at that.
Yeah, I'll
I
agree
think
with
the
that.
hype actually, yeah,
I
as I
loved
said
his
earlier,
animation tutorials were really good, actually. Like, I watched him, all of them, and his promos, and the hype was really good.
the animation tutorials were decent.
I like him
some
in the
things,
animation tutorials.
yeah. The animation tutorials were good. But obviously, I've seen better, but very, very, very good
Yeah.
for what it's worth. And yeah, I would definitely agree. I mean, like, I knew a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, I want to work on Double Rainboom." So I think the hype really helped him get. Like, the one good thing about the hype is that it got people interested in working for him. So
Yeah. I think that's right. I mean, I think he seemed very charismatic and, like, you know, he seemed to be good at motivating people because a testament to that is the fact that he overhyped it so much. He was very good at hyping it. It's just it wasn't needed, you know. So
yeah.
in that respect, he probably was very good at what he did. So lastly, he says, I've also learned that I'm fairly good at directing sound design and orchestral composing. While not the best at creating it, I can certainly critique and speak the language of sound to my composers and sound designers in order to create emotional undertones and an atmosphere that is integrated seamlessly with the visuals. 60% of any visual production is sound, and I believe Double Rainboom succeeded at that. Thoughts?
I can't talk about how he communicated with the sound people because obviously we don't have that. But from the result, I'd say maybe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
It felt
agree with
like it felt kind of like the sound overall felt kind of empty. Like there was pieces, like there are pieces missing in a lot of places.
Yeah. Incidentally, I did want to quickly ask this, but I'm not entirely sure what he means by 60% of any visual production is sound, because maybe it's just the way that I see it, but I would have said that 100% of visual production is visuals, because it's visual production, and the sound complements that 100%.
And if you're actually incorporating what would not be called visual production, but you were incorporating sound into the rest of the production, still wouldn't be 60%. I think, like, you know, a larger percent should be denoted possibly to the writing.
Yeah.
What about a silent film?
Well then,
60% audio.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that, like,
you still need the background music.
you got to play a little piano. Yeah. I think the issue is that, again, I don't know about emotion really, because there wasn't very much. Like, well, I mean,
There's the one part where Twilight randomly started yelling in her basement for no reason.
Yeah.
And
Out of nowhere.
I
Was
mean,
that emotion?
I guess. Like, because, I mean,
Yeah.
whenever I think of emotion, I probably shouldn't do this, and I normally correct myself later, but when I think of emotion, I think of, like, sad emotion. Just only sad emotion. But it actually means, like, every single emotion that ever appeared. But I still don't think there was that much, and I feel like,
I saw a lot of ambivalence.
yeah, what you said.
I felt a lot of ambivalence.
And, I don't know, it just felt like the sound effects, they probably, I didn't notice it that much, so I'm going to assume that they either weren't there, or they blended in so well that I didn't notice them. But there were some that I definitely noticed. Again, Rainbow Dash flying up through the roof with the weird trumpet fanfare sounded a bit cheesy to me. So, yeah, it's a kind of maybe on that one. He did alright. So, overall then, what would you say final thoughts on Double Rainbow, if you've got anything that you want to get off your chest that you didn't mention earlier?
I think we've gone through everything.
Just checking.
There are some things I don't know if I mentioned. But then again, we've already said so much, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
It's probably not anything important.
I
'Cause
think
I can't
we've been,
remember it.
Yeah, we've been comprehensive enough. Basically, to sum up, Double Rainboom wasn't actually that bad, but it was made bad by the hype.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't what he said it would be. You know?
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a letdown, but still.
Surrounded by
Good for what it is.
controversy and just
Yeah.
like letdowns and just confusing elements.
Yeah.
And the mouthpieces in those puppets were suspicious.
Hmm.
Oh,
I wonder. No,
Let's not discuss that. That is not for this podcast.
yeah, that's
Podcast.
where-
Is this a podcast?
this isn't a podcast.
Shit! I'm sorry. I was.
Welcome
I was
to Game Grumps.
Mhm.
This is a let's play.
Wow.
This is a fucking let's play.
I feel let down that you didn't know that it wasn't a podcast. I want my money back.
No, I know that it wasn't, but sorry, I just said it because I've been listening to so many podcasts recently
Welcome
that I
to
think
Steve
everything
Trey.
is a podcast.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting there talking to myself in the shower, and I'll think it's a podcast.
Welcome to Table Flip.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Well, actually, no. Let's do a different bit first.
Welcome to Achievement Hunter.
Yeah. I think then that is pretty much everything we've got to say. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes.
Welcome
Okay.
to Play Pals.
Mytho, making it hard for me to cut it. Yeah. So with that, then I think we will end.
Let's play the game. Make lightning jobs harder.
I just lost. Hold on. The game.
And on that.
Okay. No, I'm not going to end on that. I haven't said goodbye yet. Okay.
Fine.
Thank you very much for coming, Oblivion, and putting up with us. It was an absolute pleasure. Mytho, thanks for coming. It wasn't so much of a pleasure,
As always.
as always. Right. So, join us again soon, where our regular scheduled programming will continue, and we'll actually be uploading episodes again. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Later.